Hello again. Inelda, some familiar faces and so much potential that we're having today, huh? So good morning. Thank you all for being here in Panama. I'm truly excited to welcome you to our first Panama Revealed Trade Mission. We're here to share with you the insights and give you a deeper understanding of Panama. I would like to start, or I'd like to begin highlighting something very important that us as realtors and CIPS, we must comply with the laws and regulations of the country where we operate. In Panama, there's a specific law that governs the licensing and practice of real estate brokers. This means that in order to conduct any property transaction, you must either hold a valid Panamanian real estate license or work with a partnership with a licensed Panamanian broker. To qualify for a Panamanian license yourself, you are required to have a permanent resident here in Panama for at least 5 years, and along with a valid work permit. It's also important that you need to know that we need to comply with the anti-money laundering regulations established under Law 23 of 2015. This means that for all our clients, we must apply a due diligence and know your customer procedures, reports any suspicious transaction to the Financial Analysis Unit, maintain all the records for at least 5 years, and ensure that your staff is well trained on AML policies. Now that we've covered the legal framework, let's work into the main focus of today's presentation, which is the properties journey. Well, as in other countries, we have two basic types of property purchases. You can have a new construction and resale. In new construction, you will find that most developers will already build specs and or pre-construction and under construction. When the buyer decides to purchase a property, they make an initial deposit to reserve it. At this stage, the developer provides a contract outlining key terms, including terms and conditions of the sale in any negotiable aspects. This is the moment for the customer to negotiate with the developer or on how the payments will be done. The payment structure. Depending on the chosen payment method, the buyer must deposit the funds on a designated account. This can be a bank, an escrow account, or a law firm authorized to hold funds. Once the deposit is made, the institution handling the funds will issue a letter of intent or payment of commitment to the developer, ensuring the transaction is secure. This ensures a transparent and legal structured process, giving both the buyer and the developer confidence on the transaction. Once the project is ready for delivery and all down payments must have been completed. At this stage, the developer issues a letter inviting the buyer to schedule a property inspection to ensure that it meets expectations and the terms of the contract. Meanwhile, the documents are submitted to the public registry for the transfer of ownership. Once the transfer is officially recorded, the bank or escrow company releases the remaining funds to the developer. After the property transfer and final payments are completed, the developer proceeds to pay the licensed broker involved in the transaction. Then we have the resale property. When it comes to resale properties, the process requires a bit more due diligence, as we're dealing with existing homes rather than new construction. As well as for new construction or for resale, I encourage your clients to explore the different areas around Panama. We will be doing that. We'll be visiting Chiriquí and Bocas del Toro, the city, and in the city and in different areas, there's a little bit of preference that your clients might like. So we tour our properties to align with the client's needs and preferences. And after touring, once a property is selected, we carry out a comparative market analysis to assess the client with the value of what they would like to buy, right? At the same time, we request the property owners the registration number, known in Panama as número de finca. This unique identifier allows us to conduct a full legal background check on the property. Like who's the real owner? Does it have a mortgage? Does it liens? Registered property value, foreclosures, repossession risk due to unpaid obligations, or property seizures, any legal or government claims against the property. Once the client is satisfied with the property and all due diligence has been completed, we move forward with the next steps in the transaction, submitting an offer and securing the reservation deposit to take the property off the market. Drafting the promise to purchase agreement, contrato de promesa de compraventa, which outlines the terms and timelines of the transaction. Coordinating with the appropriate financial institutions depending on whether the purchase will be made cash or through bank financing. Then we obtain the letter of payment commitment from the escrow or the lending institution, confirming that the funds will be available at closing. In the closing process, before the property can be officially transferred, the current owner must settle all outstanding financial obligations, including property tax, maintenance and HOA fees, water and utility bills. So you know that the property that they're buying has no debt. Once these payments are clear, the final sale contract is signed and submitted to the public registry. And after the title is officially transferred, the escrow agent or financial institution releases the funds to the seller. At this point, the seller is also responsible for paying the agreed commission to the licensed broker involved in the transaction. So now that we've reviewed both new construction and resale, there are pros and cons, obviously, and we can say that buying a new property, you have modern amenities and finishes, you have the builder's warranty, you have flexible payment plans during the construction, and potential tax benefits or exemptions depending on the amount of the purchase. The cons would be higher cost per square meter compared to resale, waiting time until project completion. And then the pros for resale property, typically we have more space for a lower investment. We know the property is well located and well-connected neighborhoods, moving ready, no waiting period, and there's an opportunity to renovate or customize the property to your likes. So your cons would be may require updates or repairs and not a brand new property. So why work with a realtor in Panama? As you can see, when investing in Panama, having a knowledgeable and experienced realtor by your side makes all the difference for a smooth transaction with your clients. We have local expertise. We know the market, the laws, and the areas with the best potential. We have professional standards. We follow the NERC codes of ethics, ensuring integrity and transparency. Time saving, we simplify the entire process, from property search to closing. We have market insights. We provide accurate valuations and strategic advice. Risk mitigation, we handle the due diligence to protect your client's investments. And peace of mind, you can trust that every detail is managed professionally. Thank you all for your time, and I hope I've given a clearer picture of how the real estate process works in Panama. Thank you.